This is indeed breaking news coming in from India. And amid rising tensions in West Asia, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi held talks with his Israeli counterpart Benjamin Netanyahu. The Prime Minister has affirmed India's commitment to peace and stability in West Asia. He took to social media platform X and said, and I quote him, "Terrorism has no place in our world. It is crucial to prevent regional escalation and ensure the safe release of all hostages. India is committed to supporting efforts for an early restoration of peace and stability." Again, this is breaking news from India, and we understand that the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, has spoken to the Prime Minister of Israel, and he has affirmed India's commitment to peace and stability in West Asia. He took to social media to say what he told the Prime Minister, and I'll quote him. He says, "Terrorism has no place in our world. It is crucial to prevent regional escalation and ensure the safe release of all hostages. India is committed to supporting efforts for an early restoration of peace and stability." This comes amid Israeli airstrikes in Lebanon targeting Iran-aligned militant groups, resulting in significant casualties and mass displacement, including the death of Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah. Let's speak to our correspondent, diplomatic correspondent, Sidhan Sibol, who's joining us on the phone. Sidhan Sibol, this is news that we're receiving in our newsroom at this hour. What more do we know about the talk between the Indian Prime Minister and the Israeli Prime Minister?
This conversation happened just a few hours ago, and basically India extended support to Israel in terms of its actions against terrorism. Now, India reiterated the release of the hostages that have been taken by Hamas a year ago after they mounted a terror attack in Israel in October of last year. And essentially, India reiterated calls for stability and there should not be any escalation. Now, the significance of this conversation is 2 points. First, of course, the conversation happens 2 days after Israel, in fact, did a strike in Beirut in which Hassan Nasrallah, the chief of Hezbollah, was killed. And just a few days after, the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi met the Palestinian leadership in New York. We know that in-person meeting that happened in New York saw India extending support to Palestine and also reiterating its support for the two-state solution. So essentially a balancing between Israel and Palestine, but making sure that the message on terrorism, that there should be action against terrorism. India, of course, has taken a resolute stance on the issue of terrorism, given that it has been a victim of terrorism, including cross-border terrorism from Pakistan. In fact, we saw a strong statement by EM Jaishankar on the issue of terrorism emanating from Pakistan during his UNG address. But coming to the moot point, the conversation that has happened between the two leadership, this is, of course, part of the high-level engagement that has been continuing. The Indian Prime Minister has spoken to the Israeli Prime Minister several times. In fact, after the terror attack that happened in the month of October last year, India was the first country to come out immediately against the issue of terrorism. While other countries were still debating, India was very clear that the Hamas action in Israel is a terror attack.
All right, if you're just joining us, this is breaking news from India, and we understand that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has affirmed India's commitment to peace and stability in West Asia. He took to social media to express his displeasure on what is happening in West Asia and say that he had spoken to the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and I'll quote what he wrote on social media X: "Terrorism has no place in our world. It is crucial to prevent regional escalation and ensure the safe release of all hostages. India is committed to supporting efforts for an early restoration of peace and stability." And I've been talking to our assistant editor for Foreign Affairs, Sidhan Sibol. Thank you, Sidhan. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.